Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Aslan, much like the title suggests. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoy the video. Feel free to reach down and hit like and subscribe. Helps me out a whole lot. More people will get to see these videos. This is most of my socialization when it comes to makeup, other than one or two friends. So I'm hoping this will catch on a little bit more so I can chat with more people about something I really do enjoy. So feel free to reach down, push like, feel free to subscribe. I mean, if this is not your first time visiting here, feel free. I mean, it seems like it's a good idea if you do, if it's not your first time. Now, the last time I saw everybody, I said I would review the last of my purchased objects from the Nordstrom sale, Tom Ford. In this case, it is Tom Ford number 31, Sous Le Sable. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, like hardcore butcher. 2 years of French, still couldn't if my life depended on it. This is the quad. Now, if anybody watching this is a Tom Ford fan, then they know, and anybody who's not, let me just fill you in. Tom Ford came out with five new permanent series quads this spring. This was the surprising sleeper hit. This is the one that nobody could get a hold of. It sold out. You couldn't order it anywhere. Like, I spent forever hunting it. And I am a person who owns... I don't own many Tom Fords because he's super expensive, super duper expensive. And unless I can find it on sale or deep, deep discount, which occasionally happens, I'm not going to put up that kind of money. Okay, it's just not me. Did find this on sale though. I was like, oh my God. Because this was one of the few I was like, am I willing to pay full price for it? Like, I'm really kind of curious. But he came out with 5. You had the Sous Le Sable, De la Crème, Arabesque, Noir Fumé, and Mink Mirage. That, I believe that's all 5. And when this one came out, I think part of the reason this one did so good, and this camera is not doing what I really want it to, because this is not a white, this is actually a pink. This is a super light pink, but it is a really pretty pink. Like, these are all much pinkier in person than what this camera is showing. Like, this camera is almost making it look like a brown, and it's not. I think for those of us who are hardcore fans of Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, this is kind of more what we were expecting instead of the palette she did bring out. This, just for reference sake, is the Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Pillow Talk palette. As you can see, it's well used, well loved. I wear this thing at least 1 to 2 days a week. And I think if anybody has ever seen her, this is her lip liner. It is a nude lip liner that just disappears on your lips, and it's perfect for keeping in some of those stronger colors. Like, I do love this. And then this is the lipstick that goes with it. What is, I think I read, is one of these is sold every 2 minutes. It's a super cute, like, it's a pinky nude. It's your lips, but better. And I think with a lot of folks, other than this obviously coming out as a competitor to the Pillow Talk craze, I think this is a little bit more what most of us were expecting the Pillow Talk palette to come out as. I think it's because it's more neutral to cool toned than this. And I guess that was my own fault. I guess that was a lot of people's fault. Like, this is more what we were expecting, but this is what we got. And as much as Charlotte Tilbury leans towards the warm, I guess nobody should have been surprised that this is what came out. But this is it. I'm hoping I like this enough that I just live in this one. I'm going to give you guys some swatches. I'm going to put it on. Let's see how we look. We're gonna go across and then across. If you're looking at the palette, it's not what I would call a lot of super color variation, but that's let's see if that's okay. Like, I like Tom Ford's formula. It is soft, it is silky. This case, it is just his standard pressed powder. Like, Tom Ford has 2 different, like, you can't really even see this. See how pale that is? I guess that's a testament to how much it matches my skin. That's the second color. third and the fourth. Let's dip my finger back into numbers 1 and 2. See if I can get a little bit of a better picture for you guys. This is a really light, like lilac-y pink. Maybe if I turn on another round of colors. Okay, you can kind of see the very first one right there. It's like a light pink, lilac-y almost. And then you've got this one, and this one. And honestly, I do like the way these colors are swatching. Like, if you could see it in person. See if I can get it up closer. Like, it is super light. And it's almost one of those colors I think you'd have to see in person. I'm going to try this on because actually I've been dying to try this on, but I've been holding off for this video. Because I wanted you guys to see it the first time I saw it. I've been staring at it online. Now, today's review, I do have a couple opinions about the spring line and about Tom Ford's makeup. I am going to share those closer to the end. I already have my eyes with the primer on. I will be looking off camera because there is a mirror over here that I can see hopefully a little bit better in. It is late and it's Saturday, so I spent most of the day playing with my little dude. Okay. Now, like I was saying, Tom Ford has, let's go into our lightest shade. Tom Ford has basically two formulas in his entire line. One is a wet, dry formula, and the second is a pressed powder formula. And all 5 of this spring's colors were in the pressed powder formula. Like, we're just going to give the eyelid an all-over wash of color. I do love these brushes. Like, I just got these from Target. Like, I was looking for some newer brushes to replace the Morphes because I ended up hating those. And I ended up with, the symbol is an SK on there. You get it from Target. It's a Sonia something. It's nice. It's soft. It's synthetic, so it is vegan. But this formula, yeah, is just the soft pressed powder, not the wet dry formula. I kind of like the wet dry formula a little bit better. It's a little bit more pigmented. On the overall, I just love Tom Ford, the few that I have, because I love the way they apply and I love the cut. Like, he puts together quads I would never think the colors of. If you've ever seen African Violet, it's really pretty. There's an orange in it and a purple, and I would never in my life have thought the two colors go together. But I've seen them on people, and I'm like, holy goodness. Like, I wish I could manage to scare up one of those quads to show you guys, but I am not in that kind of position right now. Okay, these are all over wash of color. It is pretty much invisible. So let's try a slightly, let's go in for the second one. It's a shimmer shade. We're just going to do this up here, see if we can pop out the color. Now, ooh, see now, it's not, let's see if we can get a little bit more, like Tom Ford is kind of like Bobbi Brown. Tom Ford's kind of somewhere in between Bobbi Brown and Charlotte Tilbury's philosophies when it comes to eye makeup. Like, his stuff goes on effortlessly. Like, the formula is so smooth. This one has a little bit more of a slippy one. He recently changed his formula, but I don't dislike it. It does remind me of some of the older ones that he had that I've seen and been privy to touch and play with. See, that second color came out. It is visible. I'm a little surprised. Like, as light as this is, that is the one complaint I have heard over and over again from one or two people I know that use this makeup, and from some of the other YouTubers and folks that follow makeup, is that this quad being so light was almost useless. Like, you couldn't smoke it out. You couldn't do any kind of extravagant look. It was just basically a palette that you'd end up doing as an everyday soft look, which really seemed to upset quite a few people. Now we're gonna go with this shade right here, the darkest shade. See if we can get any color going there. See, now when it comes to Tom Ford, I have his Pretty Baby, which is purple. Okay, if you're as pale as me, apparently you can get a little bit of smoke, but it's not much. Like, I don't think there's much building these colors up because they're not what I would call super deep to start with. And for reference's sake, when it comes to this makeup and my skin, I am about as pale as you can get. Like, I literally am on the palest end of the spectrum. I have a little bit of a yellow undercast to my skin, thanks to my grandmother. But when I got married years ago, I literally had to get the lightest shade that Clinique made because they were the only company I could find a foundation pale enough to match me. Like, I had gone to drugstores, I had gone to the makeup counters at the time, and I could not find, and this was about 12 years ago, I could not find any that were pale enough to match me. To be fair, that was about the last time I wore foundation because that was such a fight to find. I was like, forget it. Like, at that time, I had had some interest in it, but I was like, it's too much work. Okay, in person, this looks a little smokier than what I think a lot of people were able to achieve, but yet again, I think that is partially due to how pale I am. Let's put on some mascara and stand up and have a look-see. See how it looks. Now, once you take a look at this in the full light, I'm going to give you what I think are a little bit of the flaws of this new formula. Not the formula, but the new quads. Like, I don't dislike the formula. I know a lot of other YouTubers were not fans who got to try it. I don't dislike it. I have had to use eye makeup with talc in it off and on for years, just because that is what a lot of people would make eye makeup out of. And his old formula I did like a little bit better, but this one I don't dislike to the point of being like, psh, forget it, because I do like the quality that he does carry. Okay, let's stand up, see how it looks in our usual area, different lighting. I do like the way it makes my eyes look. I'm not gonna lie, the pink seems to be popping the green. But as you can tell, the color is so light, like the pinks are so light, there's not a lot of smoke you can do. And remember, the area I smoked was with literally the darkest color in the quad. So now that we're standing up at this height and this lighting, let's see if we can get a better idea of the color set. This lighting, it doesn't matter which one of the lights I'm under or in front of, is showing this as a brown, and it is really truly not. It is a pink. So I will have to see if I can adjust the coloring in some way to give it a more honest coloring so that you guys can have a better idea of what it looks like. Now, my thoughts on this. I like the formula. I like the colors. I think a lot of the other people who have tried this on and YouTubed with it and all that are right. You can't really smoke this one out, at least not with what is on this palette. It's basically an everyday palette, and I got the impression with a lot of the new ones for spring, out of the 5, they pretty much, that was what they were geared to. The one exception might be the Arabesque, and it had 2 topper coats on it, which were very vibrant, but when you applied them, were not as vibrant as they were in the pan. Okay, that being said, that brings us to the big flaw in this. Out of the spring 5, I don't think any of these were meant for, like, they were not marketing this to people of color that like makeup. Like, okay, this is one of my friends. She likes to do makeup on YouTube. This is her YouTube one. This is her Facebook one. She does Makeup by Jazz. She is a young, very pretty African-American girl who loves to wear makeup, who loves to do makeup. She does it very well. And any of these 5 quads, including this one, which I do like, and I probably will use until it's gone, would not show up on her skin in the slightest. The one exception might be the Mink Mirage, and that is just because it's got a black as the deepening shade in the palette. Like, the rest of the palette I don't think would show up on her. So that is one thing that really kind of threw me with this one. Like, Tom Ford's stuff is usually, like, if you ever try his wet dry formula, the colors come out so pigmented, so beautiful. Like their African Sun, like the Leopard Sun and the African Violet one. I think I said that right. Leopard Sun and African Violet. Those were ones, they were, I believe, the formula like this, the dry press, but they were so pigmented and so bold, it showed up on everyone. Like, if you were a young lady of color, you could wear it and it would be super obvious and super pretty. These? No, I think while I understand something simple like this has a place, and a lot of women like me would wear this as an everyday palette, it really left out a lot of people. Like, my friend would not even be able to wear this. It wouldn't show up on her skin, which is a shame because she does like makeup. She has several Tom Fords. I think Tom Ford may have messed up on this one. Like, this was the palette we were waiting for, and I wish I could get the colors. Like I said, I'm going to play with this in editing and see if I can get the colors to pop the way they do in the pan so that they match what I'm seeing. But I think when he came out with these, he is missing a lot of an audience. Like, this is one of those moments where he just totally blew over potential buyers and made something they couldn't even wear, which is sad. I kind of wish for his spring thing that he had done at least 2 out of the 5 so that somebody in her skin tone could wear it. I mean, it's not really fair, and I mean, come on, what the F? Sorry for the bluntness, but what the F? I mean, it's great for somebody in my skin tone, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. And as pale as this is showing up, yet again, kind of misstepped with not getting any of them deep enough that you could even smoke up. So there is that. Now, my next video, when I film it, will actually be a comparison of Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk Luxury Quad with the Tom Ford Sous Le Sable. Oh God, an entire country is crying when I try to say that. I can feel it. But we're going to bring in the lip liner and the lipstick for the Pillow Talk to compare. Like, I am curious to see if this actually goes better with the Tom Ford than it does with the quad that Charlotte Tilbury brought out. Like I said, a lot of people made the comment that this was a little bit closer to what they thought Pillow Talk was going to be. So we're going to do swatches of both, compare them, talk about benefits and issues that are with both palettes. And then we're going to do one eye in Tom Ford and one eye in Charlotte Tilbury. And then we're going to apply the lip liner and lipstick. And then I'm hoping to have you guys vote and tell me which one you think looks like it goes with this lipstick more. The Tom Ford or the Charlotte Tilbury. I mean, come on. It's a simple question and it's realistic. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury, if I remember right, used to work for Tom Ford. So there should be a lot of similarities in the color set. It's a interesting. I'm curious to see, because I have not put them on together to find out. So if you guys have any thoughts on that, I would love to hear it. Or if any of you guys had any misgivings about the Tom Ford spring set, I would love to hear what you guys thought about that too. If any of you have tried them on, or if you don't like the texture, or if you kind of think like I do that this was a launch of 5 permanent ones that absolutely skipped a segment of the population that wears makeup entirely. Okay then, thanks. Have a nice night or a good day whenever you're watching this. Remember, stay safe, wash your hands, social distancing, and we will all get through this together. Have a nice night.